Good morning, afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'm Cheryl from the Global Ocean Accounts Partnership, and I'll be your host for the next hour. Today's webinar is called Bogor and Beyond, and it's a chance for us as co-op members and ocean accounting practitioners to hear directly about what happened in Bogor last month and what it means for the work ahead. So before we dive in, I have some few quick housekeeping notes. So this session is being recorded, and all the slides and the recording link will be shared to you afterwards by the by Go app. And if you have any questions, we have the Q&A panel, as well as I think the webinar chat is also enabled. So please have your questions, any questions or comments directed to the QA panel or the chat box. And our moderator, Yoga from UNSW, will curate all this information and will moderate the Q&A segment at the end of our session. So again, welcome and thank you for taking your time to be with us today. I see that we have some attendees today, and perhaps some of them joining us from across the globe, from Asia, the Pacific, Africa, and hopefully from Latin America and beyond. And that's exactly the spirit that happened in Bogor, and it's wonderful to see that it's reflected in this webinar. So we're going to cover a few things today. The first one is to hear from our team about what happened at the South to South Ocean Accounting Exchange, where more than 23 countries uh, get together in a series of different engagement activities, such as parallel tracks and side event meetings. And we'll also hear from Indonesia directly as the host country. And then we'll unpack the Bogor Strategic Action Plan, which I think some of you are familiar with, and we'll turn over also to you to give your feedback and any comments and the way to move forward from the action plan. And to set the scene, I want to hand over to Jordan from GoApp, who will give us a quick recap of the South to South Ocean Accounting Exchange. Think, Jordan, over to you.
Thank you, Cheryl. And thank you everyone again for coming. I see a lot of familiar faces and a lot of, well, not faces, but names in the participant list. So if we go to the next slide, yes, my name is Jordan. Hopefully I've met a lot of you. And what happened in Bogor? So let's reflect on the sessions and the outcomes from the 3-day event. So in the next slide, just some high-level statistics of what we experienced. So there were 23 countries in total across the sessions, and over 90% for both the international and the national components of the event in terms of increasing their capacity, not just for ocean accounting, but for other policy relevant activities as well. Joining us, as we know, was a challenge for some to come, or they unfortunately couldn't come, but we had 187 people viewing with us on the live stream on day one. So it was a very good turnout, and 7 development partners came to the event. Next. So now I'll be, and unfortunately we couldn't have Dr. Cesar with us today, but one of the challenges that he emphasized as the GoUp co-chair within his presentation was how ocean accounts can set the foundations and structure coordination for environmental accounting. So this event was really about bringing the technical practitioners together so that we can coordinate, learn from each other, and so that we can bring those lessons back. And Cheryl will talk about the Bogor Strategic Action Plan later on, but how we can use that to really advance environmental accounting for the ocean. So in the next slide, the first component I'd briefly like to talk about, there was a national workshop, which we'll hear from our other co-chair today as well, from the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries later on. was about strengthening coordination and the capacity for Indonesia's ocean accounts. So that was very much a key part of the event. We also had, in the next slide, a Fellows Summit. So we have currently 29 active ocean accounting fellows from around the world, from Africa all the way to the Latin America and the Caribbean. And so we were able to bring this growing community of practice together. Of course, we also had Asia and the Pacific. And so we had dedicated sessions to both set a very strong foundation for ocean accounting and also learn how it's applied to policy. And I can see some names. Welcome, fellows, watching alongside us today. Next, we had clinics. And so there were clinics in terms of solving the particular challenges that people might have had. We were joined by Tirapong from UN SCAP, who's one of the early pioneers of ocean accounts. And so we were very lucky to have him within the event, as well as other members of the Secretariat to cover some of the accounting concepts, help with data harmonization, and really strengthen the accounting that people might already have for policy applications. And in the next slide, there's a particular application that I wanted to share with you. So we really appreciate the trust and the partnership we've had with many of our key partners over the years. So this is just a very quick example, and if we play the video from our colleagues from Kenya, Pwani University, and we were able to collaborate and co-develop some rapid compilation of accounts and then create a platform which hopefully will showcase the results of these accounts for different stakeholders. So we see here, for example, extent accounts, how ecosystems have changed and how specific sites have changed over time. And you can see these tables here with the accounts. You can see here as well how we applied, just as a very quick example, mangroves and linked, or coral reefs rather, and linked them to fishing. And so we started to explore how these accounts can be used very actively within key policy decisions. We also had panels, so we were linking the data to decision making. We covered topics such as spatial planning, international commitment reporting, such as the NDCs, NBSAPs, of course, SDGs as well. We also covered some technical aspects such as how do you even start ocean accounts, the practical entry points, and also opportunities for collaboration. Next. And I'll just finish with this. We were very lucky to announce and also very proud to have IPB University Institute Pertanian Bogor as the partnership's newest member. So thanks again for all the efforts from IPB University for joining the membership. And next. Uh, Perhaps we'll hand over now to our colleague Cheryl to introduce. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jordan. That really captures the scale and the ambition that was brought together in Bogor. And I just want to take this opportunity to also shout out to Recam and Kakape and all of the volunteers and the staff who made the event possible. Thank you very much, everyone. And I think now what we want is to get a perspective from our hosts, Indonesia, particularly the Ministry of Marine Affairs and the Fisheries, that actually run a parallel session on natural ocean accounting workshop as well. They are pioneer in advancing and developing ocean accounting in the field. And we are lucky to have with us Ahmad Sofiola. I hope I pronounce your name correctly, Ahmad, the
No,
team
bad.
lead for convention and ocean accounting from KKP in Indonesia. Ahmad?
Thank you, Cheryl, and also Jordan. and everyone. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to everyone joining us. My name is Ahmad from the Indonesia's Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries. It is a pleasure, an honor to be here. Uh, Indonesia had the honor of hosting the South-South Ocean Accounting Exchange in Bogor last time, and we also serve as GoUp co-chair today. I will briefly reflect on what we achieved and where we go next. Let me start with our journey. Indonesia began working on ocean accounting in some 2019, starting with maritime GDP. This helped us measure the contribution of the marine economy to national GDP. But we quickly realized that output alone is not enough. We need to understand ocean assets, their flows to the economy, and also the ecosystem conditions. In other words, we need a system that connect ocean, economy, and policy. And to do this, we established an ocean accounting task force, bringing together key ministries, statistical agencies, experts, and also partners. With support from the UK government through GOAP, the Global Ocean Account Partnership, we conducted pilot valuations across 11 sites, including 9 marine protected areas, and developed 2 national standards. And we also had launched a national dashboard on ocean accounting. A South-South forum last time we had in Bogor really matters because many of us face similar challenges, including fragmented data, limited capacity, and difficulty translating technical work into policy. These challenges require peer learning among countries that share similar realities. That is the strength of this platform. In Bogor, we welcomed participants from more than 23 countries alongside our national workshop, allowing global and domestic discussion to happen in parallel. From our national workshop in Bogor, 3 key messages stood out. First, strong technical progress, defining 62 ocean industries across 12 clusters, linking data to the one map policy and advancing ecosystem valuation methods. Second, a shift toward policy use, including ocean accounting, is now being discussed in Indonesia's National Development Plan 2025-2029 and linked to our biodiversity strategy, the IPSAP, the NBSAP 2045. Third, a persistent challenge is the cross-agency data integration. Data remains fragmented and integration with planning and investment system is still very limited. At the same time, we also saw growing interest from provincial governments. Representatives from several provinces are already asking from the subnational government how to apply ocean accounting in their local government, in their regions. This is an important signal that implementation is beginning to move beyond the national level. Looking ahead, Indonesia will focus on 3 priorities. First, strengthening data integration, moving toward a unified national dashboard. Second, linking ocean accounts to spatial planning and development frameworks, including financial instruments. And the third, expanding engagement with provincial or subnational governments. These 3 priorities align with our commitments under the Bogor Strategic Action Plan, our National Ocean Account Roadmap, and also the global pledge to advance ocean account by 2030. Well, let me close with a call to collaborate. Indonesia progress has been shaped by learning from others. Platform like GoUp has made that possible. What stood out most in Bogor was the exchange between participants, sharing challenges, asking questions, and learning from each other. This kind of collaboration is essential, and it must continue. The Bogor Strategic Action Plan give also us a shared direction, whether through methodology, data systems, or finance. Each of us has a role to play. Indonesia is ready to continue contributing and to keep learning from all of you, from us all. The Bogor Action Plan belongs to all of us. Its impacts will depend on what we do next together. I will stop there and thank you very much for the opportunity. Over.
Thank you so much, Ahmad. It's really powerful to hear directly from the ministry of, especially from a country as remarkable as Indonesia, with more than, I believe, 17,000 islands, one of the biggest archipelagos. So thank you very much for your work in this area. Thank you, Ahmad. What I'd like to do next, in the next 10 minutes or so, is to present to you the Bogor Strategic Action Plan. And he asked Troy to share the QR code of the Bogor Strategic Action Plan. The First, I'll give some sort of a brief explanation what the plan is, and its development, and who were involved in the development of the action plan. And secondly, walk you through what's actually inside the plan. And I will highlight the 5 action areas that make up the substance of the document. But before that, I'll give some sort of a reflection of the development of ocean accounting and the remarkable 18 months at the policy level. So in June of 2025, at the third UN Ocean Conference in Nice, ocean accounting was recognized for the first time as a major multilateral ocean instrument. And also, as mentioned by Ahmad, pledge to advance ocean accounts by 2030 has also been signed by 19 countries and seven organizations. The CBD as well has called explicitly on parties to work towards ocean accounting and economic valuation of ecosystem services provided by the marine and coastal biodiversity. And of course, if our colleagues from ISPE in Vietnam have uh, co-hosted the event in Halong Bay and has developed the Halong Consensus, signed in March 2025, and it established the first regional commitment to ocean accounting in South and Southeast Asia. So it's important to put it in there because I think what's been distinctive in this trajectory is that it's is the participation of countries from the global south, by countries co-chairing the partnership, by countries pioneering the first national implementations, and by countries building the operational dashboard and data systems that the rest of the world is now actually studying. So the Bogor plan, or the Bogor Strategic Action Plan, builds on that leadership. And I think deliberately it is a south to south document. And as you see, there's a QR code that will take you directly to the published plan on the Go Up website. And you're welcome to scan this as I uh, read through the 5 action areas of the plan. So it's organized in 5 action areas. The first one is on closing the implementation gap. May I ask Troy to flash the next slide, please? So this area is the most familiar to the technical audience, perhaps in this room, because the discussion in Bogor centers on, uh, they keep on naming, was not in fact a shortage of ocean-related data or data per se. Open source data is increasingly available, and the barrier was fragmentation, or ocean data sitting in different silos across different institutions like statistical office, geospatial agencies, universities, NGO, with no common framework to bring these data together. And the second barrier behind that one is when data exists, having data is not the same as having accounts. So the methodology and the institutional capacity to translate the raw ocean data into a structured statistical account, that that translation work remains under-resourced and, as discussed in Bogor, under-explained. So the action area calls for a cross-agency coordination mechanism, integrated data platforms, sustained investment in time series records, and indicator harmonization. So that's the first action area. The second one, I think is more of, can I say, the most animated discussions at Pugor, because participants gave their frank assessment that ocean accounting today provides evidence, but it does not yet reliably connect ecosystems to capital. So the pipeline from a functioning ocean accounting project to a bankable investment proposal is incomplete. So the discussion is centered on designing ocean accounts from day one, and it's not an afterthought or retrofitted later. So in this, uh, to answer this, the plan calls for shared investment readiness criteria for nature-based solutions, for blue finance instruments such as parametric insurance, high integrity blue carbon, and crucially, ecosystem valuation results to find their way into national budgets processes and, of course, fiscal architecture. The third one relates to governance and institutions. And I think when I recall, participants talk about this, uh, with some bit of an emotion, because they experience this as one of the they experience this every day. So they have articulated that technical solutions stall without political champions and clear institutional homes. So in the plan, if you read through it, it emphasizes securing domestic champions at every level, national, local, or district wise. So embedding ocean accounts into national development plans, into NDCs or NBSAPs, or into marine spatial planning, and establishing inter-ministerial coordination, whatever form that is, could be in terms of task force, environmental account requirements. But the crucial element here is that there should be a regulatory backing and data sharing requirements. And a sub theme that arises from the Bogor Exchange is that governance and social accounts is also important. So that's why in the plan, it asked the Global South countries to actively shape the international methodology so that the emerging standards capture both the formal and the informal management mechanism. And participants recurringly mention traditional and customary systems around this theme. The fourth area is on human capacity and south to south network. We also have uh, higher education institutions and research institutes as participants in the Bogor Exchange. So they said that perhaps institutionalizing the exchange as a recurring platform in order to continue peer learning events, study visits, perhaps practitioners, say from Indonesia and Vietnam, to have a secondment between countries at the different stages of the ocean accounts implementation. And of course, embedding ocean accounting into university curricula, building on what we have at the Go Up, the education series, and more importantly, addressing data sensitivity through trust framework. And lastly, action number 5. This is more of a forward-looking action plan. It's saying that ocean accounts shouldn't sit on their own, so they should connect with other, for example, land-based accounting with plastic and pollution accounts, or perhaps in the blue carbon frameworks. So sub-national capacity also matters. So provincial and local governments who are often in charge of licensing of marine spatial planning or some local resource management decisions, and they should be actively involved in ocean accounting as well. So I think those are the five key elements of the Bogor Strategic Action Plan. And I think the more natural question that comes after this is how do we engage this plan going forward? How do countries, institutions, and partners build on Bogor? And I see some questions from the Q&A talking about our Ocean Accounts Fellowship uh, at the Go app. And to talk more about the going forward narrative, I'd like to hand over to my colleague Jordan to take us through that. Jordan?
Thanks, Cheryl. And so we'll just go to the next slide. But again, we would like to thank the co-hosts of the event that made the strategic action plan possible. So IPB University and KKP, or Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, and also the co-host or the support from Rekam Nusantara Foundation, and of course the support from the UK International Development, FCDO. So what does this mean for GoApp members and ocean accounting practitioners generally in terms of this strategic action plan? So let's try and come up with some actionable steps. And in the next slide. So as Cheryl has already mentioned, national coordinating mechanisms were a recurring theme. How do we coordinate actions once we've started? And that was very much a key finding in Bogor. So this can take different forms. We saw models where it was an interagency working group. We saw other models where it was a focal ministry. It really depends on the governance of the country. But one thing that was common was how can we facilitate this peer learning towards accelerating progress and also how it relates to global reporting. And so it's really a way, if you have a national coordinating mechanism, to translate your accounts into ocean action. So one key step that arose from the discussions was, is there a mechanism in place? And if not, what is the most relevant mechanism for your country or subnational government? Next. And so the next key lesson that we'd like to share from the Bogor Strategic Action Plan is how do we make a system so we can have a mechanism that feeds into the priorities of each country. And so there's a lot of aspects to this. So some of the thinking within the event and actions that could be taken are thinking about data stewardship. Where do the data sit? Many times they're fragmented. And so how can we address this fragmentation by bringing the data together? What are the relevant policy use cases that we could immediately address through ocean accounting? What are the capacity building needs? And how can we use accounts for international reporting? And on the flip side, we also discussed what would happen if we didn't have a focal point or if we didn't coordinate our efforts. Already, we are seeing in some countries different, not necessarily ocean accounting, but environmental accounting initiatives happen in parallel or duplicative efforts. And so we're seeing a duplication of work. There's no clear link. These are things that we should avoid so that we can work together, collaborate, and build effective ocean accounts for policy. Next. We also welcomed quite a few stakeholders from academia. And just looking through the names in the chat, we have representatives from universities from Africa. We have from Ghana as well here today. We have a representative from Austria. And we have a real role to play as an academic institution. So, as you've seen in the place card, both Cheryl and I come from the University of New South Wales. How can universities support ocean accounting? We can bring together the different researchers and really provide evidence where it's needed to national systems. We can also try and find many times there's data sitting on a shelf, sitting in a hard drive. I know you've might have experienced this before or in a paper that is actually critical to a question that we're trying to answer. So these time series, these methods, really sometimes they already exist. We just need to bring them to the forefront. For research institutes, it's very similar. But for one key aspect that was raised was curriculum. How can we build training so that the ocean accounts starts a training can support future champions, raise awareness, and also build capacity? And there was also talk of formalizing some of the uh, training in terms of techniques, having dedicated subjects or units within bachelor's or master's degrees so that we're really building the capacity now and also into the future. Next. So, as Cheryl's already gone through the Bogor Strategic Action Plan, one key thing we need from all of you here today and who will listen in the future is case studies. Case studies on what you've done and what you could share with the global community. And to do this, you could be a co-author of the technical guidance that's soon to be released. We're still developing the platform and it should be out soon where you can comment, you could provide your own case studies from your country to really shape the guidance that people will use now and into the future. And also, we'll give you a QR code in just a moment, but the Social Accounts Working Group. So the UN system of environmental economic accounting gives us great guidance on the link between the environment and the economy, and ocean accounts extends that or aligns with that and looks particularly at the ocean domain. But now we're also very interested in the social benefits provided by the environment and the economy as well. And so this is a section of international accounting that needs more development and could use uh, support from everyone here. So again, the new version should be coming out relatively soon. For your consultation, and any contribution will be recognized. So please do, when we have the call out emailed to this group, consider contributing your knowledge, your time, and your efforts, and we thank you in advance. Next. So just to summarize, three actions that I would like to emphasize, just to reiterate many of the things that already have been said. One, is there a national coordination mechanism if ocean accounts are already happening in your country? And if not, think about the entry points, think about how we could work together to see where these coordination mechanisms could work specifically for your country. The next QR code, number 2, is the QR for the Social Accounts Working Group. And that is what I mentioned earlier, a group that's working towards circulars to develop guidance for accounting for social aspects that aren't covered at the moment by existing accounting standards. There's also on our website links to the communities of practice from around the world. There is the Asia Community of Practice, Pacific, Latin America and Caribbean, and the African communities of practice as well. And finally, we have a WhatsApp group launched at the event in Bogor. And so that's another avenue for you to receive information from us and get the latest webinars or events or teaching materials. We'll try and cross-post this material into the WhatsApp group. So in the next slide, Thank you for listening. That's it from me. And if you have any questions as well, my email is right there. But that's it, and I'll pass back to Dr. Cheryl.
Hi, thank you, Jordan, and thank you for enumerating all the opportunities for our practitioners and technical experts on ocean accounts. We now have time for questions, and just want to mention that if you have any questions to Ahmad, please feel free to send them through as well. We'll be happy to forward them to him. Ahmad, if you're listening down the line, thank you for joining us today. Unfortunately, Ahmad has to leave us due to prior engagement, but we're very much appreciate your time. So I'll now, before I hand over to Yoga, our moderator, for the Q&A, just want to request everyone to add a flag in our chat box or in a webinar chat box just to let us know that you can use the webinar chat box for any questions that you would like, or even share your thoughts about the Bogor if you're there, but also in our Q&A panel. Thank you. Yoga is from UNSW, also from KKP in Indonesia, and he's going to moderate and read all the questions that you have. And I see some questions already in the panel. Thank you very much. Yoga, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Cheryl and Jordan, and also Pa Ahmad for sharing your insights on the Bogor Action Plan, the exchange event, and also the host perspectives on the South-South Ocean Account Exchange in Bogor. So we have several minutes, roughly 5 to 10 minutes for questions, and I can see there are already some coming through the panel. So let me go to the first one. It's about membership. It's from Philippines. Is membership limited to only to academic institutions or open for individual professionals also? I think Jordan or Cheryl can answer this.
Thanks, Yoga. So membership to the Global Ocean Accounts Partnership. So it's a multi-institutional partnership where we have representatives from the private sector, we have government members, and we also have research institution members. So those are the key categories at the moment. Of course, we are more than happy to engage as the secretariat to individuals. But at the moment, those are the three categories for formal membership. But that doesn't stop us, of course, from collaborating and helping with any initiatives that our participants may have. So thank you, Annika, for your question. And yeah, good to connect again, and more than happy to assist or provide advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Next question, still about membership. Co-op membership is really flexible between academics, countries, and also private institutions. So for countries who's not yet member of the GOAP, what would be the pathway to become a GOAP members?
Okay, hello, it's me again. So, the if you are eligible, as defined by the terms of reference, and you would like to join, do reach out at info@oceanaccounts.org. And it is simply an exchange of letters after you've agreed to the terms of reference. And these terms of reference are they don't require any funding to the partnership secretariat, and there's no legal commitments. But we do encourage you to reach out and see, one, if you're eligible, and two, how we can facilitate this process. But it all begins, of course, with communication. So hopefully we've put in the chat the Secretariat info email that people can contact us by. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. It's also answered to Felicia's questions about membership. So Dr. Jordan provide the link and to the website, and so kindly go to that website and start to contact us for any interest on memberships or fellowship program. Before the next question, I would like to say hi for our participants from Germany, Mozambique, and Philippines, Ghana, and also China. Glad to have you here. And for the next question, maybe Cheryl or Jordan again can take this one. The Bogor Action Plan mentions engagement with the. Oh, hi, Russell, hail from Australia. Sorry. For the Bogor Action Plan mentioned about regional organization engagement, and it's raised open question about how ocean accounting moves from bilateral to regional scale. So what be what would be the pathway from the secretariat and also countries if they want to uh, use the regional scale action using this utilizing the Bogor action plans?
Hi, Yoga. Is the question more on the membership and engagement, or is it more of um,
More about the follow-up of the action plan about with engaging with the regional organizations.
regional organizations? Yes. Okay. I suggest going through our communities of practice regionally in Asia, in the Pacific. So you will be oriented with the current network as well. But let me also emphasize that engagement of Go Up doesn't, start with a Go Up membership. Some of the institutions or countries that we work with, we don't have any like formal like membership to Go Up, but we do engage them in pilots and other sorts of activities as well. So it's not a necessary or a requirement for you to engage or to work on ocean accounts to become a member of GoUp. That is.
Thank you, Cheryl. That's really helpful. And before the next question, I would like to say hi to also from participant from Peru and from Timor-Leste and also from Mozambique. Hi, and thank you for joining us today. And another question about the GoUp Secretariat, probably Dr. Joran can take this. We have now this strategic action plan to follow up and advance ocean accounting. So what would be the Secretariat's role in facilitating this action, facilitating country to follow up with the action plan?
Thanks, Yoga. So if there's already a strategic action plan, then that's a really strong foundation to implement the ocean accounts. And of course, implementation is the difficult part. And so there are different components to that. And whether it's the ocean economy satellite accounting, whether it's the ecosystem accounting, remote sensing, data management, all of that, how the question the Secretariat will ask is how can we help? So if there's specific parts of the plan for implementation that you need technical guidance on, then the Secretariat is more than happy to address these queries and provide resources that are already on the website. And also, if there are opportunities to collaborate as well, we usually are more than happy to provide meetings or webinars in the first instance to support your strategic actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jordan. For our participants, if you are attending the Bogor exchange, if you would like to say something of your reflections, kindly post them in chat, or we can also allow you to open your mic for sharing your lessons learned experience, and that can be or anything that you would like to highlight from your attendance in Bogor.
Just a quick reflection, yoga, because I'm looking at the attendees list at the moment. I just want to give a shout out to all the Bogor participants who actively gave their comments, their suggestions, and their edits to the Bogor Strategic Action Plan. Thank you for your time, and thank you for helping us develop the action plan. And looking forward to working with you in the future as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Yes, exactly. This kind of a consensus in formulating the Bogor action plan. I think it's one of the significant efforts from all of us, especially from the participants. It shows high engagement and also high, so high engagement and also good gesture and intentions to advance the ocean accounting in the region. And is Ahmad still available here or?
I'm here.
Okay, thank you, Pa Ahmad. There is one question for you. You mentioned about priorities from that raised from the national workshops. If you, it's a bit tricky question. If you could prioritize or if you could list one, what would be the intervention from you to achieve what we been vision for 2030?
I think the data integration, yeah, because we understand that Indonesia is a big country and hundreds of local government, and yeah, they have their own data, they have their own interest sometimes that uh, the data, so the data is widespread, so and we need to create a uh, data pooling system that as the basis for policy for the policy evidence. So yeah, I think the data integration is and our top priority. Over. Thank you.
Thank you, Pa Ahmad. That's really insightful for having the data integrated between sectorals, and that's I believe could achieve great things with the ocean account. Another question, it's we hear a lot about countries formulating and also participant formulating this Bogor action plan. Maybe Dr. Jordan or Cheryl can advise us. What about the donors or partners that would follow up from the Bogor action plan? What would be their roles in this?
Uh, Thank you, Yoga. Of course, we can't speak on behalf of the donors, but what I can say is that this provides a strong statement of the needs that are shared across different partners and institutions of how we can collaborate together, what are the opportunities, and what are the ways we can build on existing collaborations as well. And so there were donors present, and there was a coordination meeting as well for Indonesia. And this platform, we hope this South to South platform is something that we can continue over time as well. But of course, this is all dependent on resources. But we hope that this event can continue into the future, given how effective and motivating it was, especially for me personally, as a way to build capacity and build partnerships together. Thanks.
I just want also to add to what Jordan said, that I think the interest of our development partners in Bogor last month, and particularly looking at the cases of where they're going to use ocean accounts or natural capital accounting in general on, for example, climate finance or MSP or blue economy strategies, for example, and looking forward to all of the follow-up meetings that we will be having in the next few months. And thank you, everyone. I think our time is up, Yoga. Do we still have pending questions that we need to answer?
Maybe one question
Okay.
from
Okay.
Felicia about African organization, how the regional organization like AFMESI can participate, and how can the secretariat support?
Okay, thank you, Felicia, for your question. We do have a community of practice for the African region, currently co-chaired by IOC UNESCO based in Nairobi. And we can, the contact is on our website, but we're more than happy to connect you as well. And within the West African region specifically, we have participants here from Cape Coast University. And so the Go app as a partnership can assist with providing opportunities for networking online and also linking you to that community of practice. So that's definitely the place I would start. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Jordan. Before, okay, I don't see any more questions on my list. I guess we can wrap up the question and answer sessions, unless our panelists have one sentence or one closing statement to say.
All good from my end. Jordan?
Okay.
Just that let's continue the momentum. We see quite a few participants here, which is great to see, and let's continue the momentum into the future. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
Thank you,
hand over to
Jordan.
Cheryl.
Thank you, Ahmad, as well for staying, and then Yoga as well. And for everyone joining today, thank you for being part of the community. We'll expect you to email us if you have some further questions. Please do personally reach out to us if you want to work on specific areas as well. And also, we'll be in touch in recording on slides or follow-ups. And we are also sharing the same QR codes that Jordan shared earlier, the Go Up Ocean Accounting WhatsApp group and the Social Accounts Working Group, and in particular, the Regional Dialogue for South in Southeast Asia, wherein our next session will be on blue carbon, talking about experiences from UNDP Vietnam, and then WEF, and of course, from Go App. So thank you, everyone, and take care, and see you soon. Bye.